You that same type shit on Instagram.
Oh my god. No, dude, I love this. I love it. Here's some of the comments. The whole Sanders family is a disgraceful sham, and that got nearly 10,000 likes. Sanders would be a massive distraction on whatever NFL team he plays for. Don't want him. This is where Sanders peaked. LOL, as good as he will ever be and the biggest stage he'll be on. People aren't too happy with how Shedeur acted after the game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you had a great weekend. Hope all of you watched a ton of college football and enjoyed yourself. But man, oh man, guess who's back in the news? Shedeur Sanders. He just can't stay out of the controversies. He reminds me of that one kid we all went to high school with who every single week always got in trouble. Like you could count on him once a week, either getting detention, ISS, or getting suspended. Well, what our boy Shedeur Sanders, it's that, but just controversies. And it's not for some mysterious or unknown reason. He's an extremely confident and outspoken individual. He's not shy and he's not scared to be himself and give you his opinion, for better or for worse. With that being said, let's get into what's going on. So this weekend, Colorado played their rival Colorado State. A lot of bad blood there. Goes on being said, they don't like one another. Last season, this was a game that went down to the wire. Colorado shocked everybody when they kept this game close, and really they should have won, but they wound up losing 43-35 in double overtime. But all in all, Colorado State left that game thinking, man, that one slipped away and we can compete with these guys. Fast forward time into this season, right before the matchup, Colorado State's quarterback, he was talking his talk.
You have to line up 11 guys against our 11 guys, and we'll find out who wants it more, and we'll see how far Instagram followers gets them.
The ending of that is what got everybody fired up when he stated, we'll see how far Instagram likes get them. Or my apologies, he said, we'll see how far Instagram followers get them. But you get the point. Calling them out, saying, hey, yeah, they got a bunch of media hype, but it's different when you get out there and put on the pads and play. Which I totally agree with what he's saying. It's the same thing Dan Lanning said at Oregon last year. Before we go any farther, let me give you my 2 cents. Do I think this quarterback saying, oh, we'll see how far the followers get them is some crazy and outlandish statement? No, and it doesn't bother me, not even to the slightest. He's talking his talk. However, when you talk your talk before the game, there's a lot of repercussions that come with that. Because you know good and well, whatever you say about this Colorado team, they're more than likely going to see it. I say that to say this. If you go out here and lay an egg, just be ready to get that same energy back. Game day comes around and Colorado just absolutely destroys them 28-9. Wasn't even a ball game, and this quarterback in the game was pretty bad. Had a couple interceptions and also did one of the stupidest things I've seen in college football this year. He wound up scampering out of bounds on a play, and Travis Hunter, it's not like he trucked him or anything. And when they were running off of the sidelines, he gave Travis Hunter the too small thing. What would you even call that? It's just the yeah, you're too small to guard me gesture. I think that's the best way to say it. It's more of a thing you see on the basketball court. I very rarely, if ever, have seen it used on the football field. And you gotta have context. I would understand him doing this gesture a little bit more if you just completely ran over Travis Hunter. I have no problem with it. But the fact you just scampered out of bounds and Travis Hunter is next to you and you're giving him the too small gesture, what are we doing? At that point in time, you're making a fool out of yourself. But hold on. It gets even better. This is the part of things where Shedeur Sanders finds himself in yet another controversy, and he's catching a lot of heat for this on social media. A lot of these quote tweets that are dogging Shedeur have near 10 million views. For example, this one says, call me a boomer or whatever, but this dude is not going to be in the first round. Here's some of the comments. The whole Sanders family is a disgraceful sham, and that got nearly 10,000 likes. He's a decent quarterback, but a terrible teammate. NFL teams don't want that in their locker rooms. Dion said if his son doesn't like the team that drafts him, he would demand a trade right there backstage. Sanders would be a massive distraction on whatever NFL team he plays for. Don't want him. This is where Sanders peaked. LOL, as good as he will ever be and the biggest stage he'll be on. There's many more comments I could read off. I think you get the point. People aren't too happy with how Shedeur acted after the game. I have yet to show you this video clip. I'm actually going to go to, I think it's on Bucky's channel. Shout out to Well Off Media. I'll leave a link to his channel down below. Go check it out for more Colorado content. But let's go to his channel and see if I can find the full video clip. All right, cool. Yet again, I know I just said it, but if you want to see more Colorado content, this is one of the better YouTube channels out there. It's Well Off Media. It is ran by Bucky. If you don't know who Bucky is, that's one of Dion's sons. He posts some great content, a lot of long, lengthy content that gives you some behind the scenes on what's going on in Colorado. Much respect to him, and yeah, let's check it out. Alright, so Mr. Shedeur Sanders, he's about to go midfield and shake some hands and do what players normally do after games. Remember though, that quarterback is the one who said, we'll see how far the Instagram followers get him. And I'd be willing to bet 99.8% of athletes with a competitive bone in their body, they would remember that. You don't forget stuff like that. You don't. You keep that in the back of your memory.
You that same nigga type on Instagram.
Oh my god. No, dude, I love this. I love it. I don't want to sound too corny and cliche when I say this because it's an overused term, but that is the definition of standing on business. Colorado State's quarterback goes up to shake Shedeur Sanders' hand, and Shedeur immediately says, "You was that same dude that was talking crap on Instagram." I can't tell y'all enough how much I love this. He just straight up called him out, and I'm all here for it. And it's not that I'm encouraging Shedeur Sanders going after people. That's not what happened. Remember, that guy is the one who called out Shedeur in Colorado first. Shedeur's just standing up for himself, and that's what it's about. We would be having a completely different conversation if Colorado State didn't say anything before the game, and Shedeur's going out of his way to just taunt them and flex on them and do all that. And I've criticized Shedeur heavily for some of his antics, but this right here, there's not much critiquing going on, and I'm on his side. Before we go any farther, I will say the only thing I didn't like is the fact he didn't shake his hand. His remarks back to the opposing team's quarterback, don't mind it. I actually like it, like I said. The only thing I would have liked him see do differently is shake his hand first while keeping this same energy and, like I said, quote unquote, standing on business.
Alright, keep talking about business.
This guy walks away, says keep talking, and my immediate reaction to that is, buddy, weren't you the one talking first? Unless I'm highly misinformed, I didn't see Shedeur Sanders talking crazy before the game. I didn't see him say anything before the game. I like this part. The rest of the media is not going to show you this. You see Shedeur Sanders tell the other players he's showing his respects and he's dapping them up and doing his thing.
Hey, what's that for?
I played out of national school, so I could never be a state champ. I'm a state champ. You feel me?
If you want to see this entire video, it's like 40-something minutes long. Go to Bucky's channel. You can check it out for yourself. Now that I've shown you that, let me explain to you into deeper detail why I have no problem with Shedeur Sanders calling out this other quarterback. And really, let's just call it for how it is. He called him out for his BS. Weirdly enough, when I saw this incident, I had deja vu because I was in an exact similar situation. When I was back in high school, the good old glory days and whatnot, there were two guys on an opposing team that made an Instagram post about me. And this is back in the day when there wasn't stories and all this crap. Now, you just post on Instagram like it was pretty much Twitter. That's a good example. This is also a different conversation for a different day, but what happened to Instagram? It used to be so cool back in the day. Now it's turned into like a shopping center and barely anybody posts on it anymore. But back in the day, you posted anything and everything. I remember people used to post just pictures of their food at Wendy's or McDonald's. No lie, people post a picture of a McDouble and some chicken nuggets, say, #food eating at McDonald's. The downfall on Instagram needs to be studied, but anyways, I'm getting a little sidetracked. That's besides the point. Point is, back in the day, there was two guys for an opposing team. They posted something like, and this isn't word for word, but I'm paraphrasing. They post some picture of them at practice in their basketball gym, but it's the caption that really stood out. They wrote in the comments, "Hey, everybody come out to the game Friday night. We play Matt B. Great, and we're going to show him that he ain't as good as he thinks he is, and we're going to beat him by 20-something points." I didn't say anything back on Instagram because I don't do internet beef and I don't go back and forth with people on the internet. But you know, everybody and their mama and everybody at school was sending it to me, and yeah, I definitely took it personal. Long story short, we get to the game and I need to give you some context. One of the guys who was in the picture, and I guess he was a part of it, he was a bench player, so I wasn't even focused on him. But the other guy who called me out, he was a starter and already made up in my mind, I'm going at him all night long. I already told coach I'm going at him, it's personal, I'm guarding him every single play on defense, and on offense I'm going to try to single him out, ISO one-on-one. Every single play on offense, if he wasn't guarding me, whoever he was guarding, I'd call that guy to come up for a screen and he'd get switch on me, and every time he gets switch, he'd be yelling back to his teammates, help, 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 switch back, switch back. But the times he stayed on me and I scored, yeah, I was talking crap back to him the whole game, and he didn't say a word. The whole game, I was like, yeah, what was that you were saying on Instagram? Where's that energy now? And he looked like a deer in headlights. They did wind up beating us by 10 to 15 points, and I myself finished with like 22 or 24. And as soon as the game was over, this was before we even got into the lines where you shake hands with people. That one guy who was guarding me for parts of the game, he came up to me first and like, dude, heavy game, Matt. Great game, Matt. I shook his hand, told him I appreciate it. You played good too, brother. But what's up with all that crap you're talking on Instagram? What's that about? It was so bizarre to me, and it's why I remember the situation so clearly, because he acted like he didn't know what I was talking about, and like I said, a deer in the headlights. It almost seemed like he was surprised I even brought it up, but in reality, who wouldn't bring that up? What he wound up saying back was, oh, dude, I didn't mean anything by it. We was just trying to be funny. I just looked him dead in his eyes and told him there ain't nothing funny about it. I was talking to you all throughout this game, and I'm talking to you right now, and you ain't saying anything. But on the internet, you talking wild. He wound up walking back to his team, and I just remember thinking to myself, I'm not even going to say it, but it starts with a P. Moral of the story is, and I know a bunch of you could care less about my glory days back in high school, we're here to talk about Shedeur, is I can relate to this. My story is so similar to Shedeur's, it's kind of scary, except for the fact we wound up losing and Shedeur won. And I can't for the life of me understand all these nerds on Twitter that are saying this is a terrible look for Shedeur, and this is awful, and no NFL team's going to draft him, and this is just the worst thing ever. I can't believe Shedeur Sanders didn't shake hands with a guy who blatantly disrespected him and his team before the game on Instagram. Like, what? Like, get the F out of here. I would have liked it a little bit better if Shedeur would have shook his hand just to show some sportsmanship, but I ain't upset about it. This is called being competitive. I guarantee you, if Michael Jordan did this, all these old heads would be talking about, heck yeah, brother, that's the MJ attitude I like. No lie, people literally praise Michael Jordan. I don't have a problem with it, but there's a double standard here. They praise Michael Jordan for being an a-hole. Michael Jordan literally used to fight his own teammates, and people are like, yep, that's a sign of good leadership. You can't back it up. It's just crazy, man. And I'm a huge MJ fan. As when I'm speaking in my office, I'm currently looking at 2 Michael Jordan jerseys I have hung up. The only thing I can think of is people just want to see Shedeur Sanders fall flat on his face due to his father's arrogance maybe, and maybe even Shedeur's own arrogance. That's the only thing I can chalk it up to, but outside of that, this is a nothing burger. If you're upset about what Shedeur Sanders did after the game, you're just not competitive. Let me give you a great example, because I think most men don't understand it until I give you a great example that you can relate to. Let me ask you a question. If someone were to dog your wife or talk bad about your wife or girlfriend on Instagram, would you shake that guy's hand? I don't think most of you would. As a matter of fact, you probably give that guy a nice, good old-fashioned knuckle sandwich. That's all I got to Shedeur. Keep doing your thing, bro, and keep doing you. Let me know your thoughts on all this down below. But